Hey, for today's In Perspective, we're going to be interviewing our very own from the agency. We're going to start off with Neil Foote. He's the Vice President of Business and Strategy Development. And so today's topic is about social media.
Hey, Neil.
Hey, Neil.
Hey, how are you all?
Good, thank you.
Roving today, huh?
Oh, yes, definitely. So can you tell us a little bit about why social media is important?
Look, social media is certainly the buzzword of today, and there's a reason for that. There are so many different ways to reach audiences, and social media just has to be one of the ways that clients have to look at this as a serious tool to use. Back in 1994, I know back in the dark ages, internet at that point, I was told by my publishers in the newspaper business and my bosses that the internet was CB radio. It was a fad. It was going to go away. Look, we got to worry about writing stories for newspapers and printing papers. Don't worry about this, Neil. Focus on your day job, like selling ads for the newspaper. Well, what's been happening? Newspapers are struggling, but they're trying to reinvent, revolutionize themselves. And just like newspapers have to consider social media, every marketer and advertiser and public relations specialist has to look at social media as a way of reaching different kinds of audiences. Whether it's Twitter, whether it's understanding how Dig and Delicious work, whether it's figuring out ways to get the word out to different kinds of audiences, is the way we gotta go. I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, look, my generation is getting information in different ways, but just take a minute. This is a rhetorical question. The number of ways you can now contact someone.
True.
For example, phone, person to person, snail mail. You can still buy a stamp, write a letter.
Yes, that is true.
Buy a greeting card, e-card, Twitter, instant messenger, Facebook,
Infinity.
MySpace. I mean, amazing. So and the audiences are fragmented now, which makes it difficult for us as PR professionals to try to reach the audiences. So our strategy here is to try to figure out how best to get to those audiences. Try it out, test it, measure it, find new ways, and in the long term, some of these are going to really work. Some of these are going to fade away into the sunset. But for one thing, for sure, the case studies that we will have from this experience are going to be amazing, and we'll be rewriting the book on public relations in the future.
Oh, excellent! I love that. Thank you, Neil.
Have fun.
Thank you. Who are we going to talk to next, Cindy?
Now we're going to go to our account executive. We're going to go with Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda Edwards.
I wanted to ask you a question about social media platforms that we use. What do we use in our agency?
In our agency? Well, the newest one that we're using, what I'm using right now, is actually Yammer.
Do you have it open?
And this just kind of helps us communicate between each other internally. And it's very similar to what we do with Twitter, but more on an internal basis. And it helps us keep organized and less email. And it's also a neat, interactive way for us to be closer to each other and do more mind share.
Cool, cool.
Another thing that we do is Twitter, of course.
Yes.
Michelle is the queen of Twitter.
Yes.
Amongst us all, but it's also a great way for us to meet other people, do a mind share with other people that we normally wouldn't necessarily meet out to.
Exactly.
It's a great way to just meet people and see what's going on in the world, get feedback on things, and definitely like Twitter.
Cool.
And of course, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Great.
Neil was just talking to us about how many platforms there are, and it's just infinity amount.
There are, and that's one of the things that we do is go find out all these different platforms. What's new, what's ways that maybe could work with our clients, or what's going to help our clients and reach their customer base.
Exactly.
And what's going to be best for them. And until we know, we need to personally delve into that
internally, right?
Yeah, and research and find out what's going to work. And each one of us have different platforms that we like. Michelle's big on Twitter, whereas I like using Yammer, or I have a bigger presence on LinkedIn or my Facebook.
Exactly.
And, we use NetVibes for our news, and everybody just has their own niche in social media.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Amanda. That was perfect.
Thank you.
We've lost Justine, but maybe we can interview her tomorrow.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, or you want to find her? Okay.
Alrighty.
someone gets a little tour of the office here. Justine?
And Justine is our event planner and media specialist.
I
And
am.
there's our intern, Zoe.
Zoe.
So we're going to ask you some questions now, Justine.
So Justine, as a media specialist, what social media platforms do you think are more resourceful when you're looking for new, online, or traditional media?
Well, one thing that I try to do is kind of stay ahead of the trend, which is really easy to do here at the agency because we have a lot of tools at our disposal. So lately I've been on Twitter, NetVibes, which our ACs do a great job of keeping up.
That's us.
Yammer, not so much yet. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. But for me, I found a lot of new publications, a lot of new bloggers, a lot of just different ways to do media research or media outreach through Twitter alone. So I think that's one major
big one, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you so much for your
Justine.
input.
And this has been M Perspective of the Day.
Yes, and just to wrap it up, go ahead and visit our, agency blog and check out what MSI is about, what we do, how we use social media. And until tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Another perspective.
Exactly. See you tomorrow, everyone.